Here we are yet again for another internet adventure, starring me. This is pure vodka, right? Slugging it. Things aren't that terrible. It does make you wonder if they do have directed energy weapons, is there ever a point in time that they'll be able to melt the snow on the ground using space weapons that didn't exist until yesterday, apparently, according to the government. If they, what is it? Finally acknowledged directed energy weapons, right? If that is indeed what I read on the internet. So so I'm trying my damnedest. It's 1,000,000 degrees. Quite literally. Super hot. I didn't really watch a documentary. I didn't watch any movies or anything. Just kind of. You know, it's super weird. So there's a movie, and they had just Stanley Kubrick's Twitter or X just posted a thing from the last scene in The Shining where it like pans out and shows that Jack Nicholson's character was the original caretaker of the Overlook Hotel. There's a really strange kind of thing that happened in my life that what movie was it though? I can't remember what the exact movie was. It might have been like, it wasn't Anger Management. Movies that he made at some point in time in the 90s. Not all about Schmidt. Not as good as it gets. But there's a scene in the movie, and this freaked my entire family out when this happened. There's a scene in, how weird, no, seriously though, how weird is this, alright? So there's a scene in this movie, now that I think about it with the Overlook thing, I'm like, yeah, it's super creepy. Get this, right? So in the movie, there's a scene where they're like panning over a bunch of like old family photographs of like Jack Nicholson when he was a kid and stuff, or like a teenager and all that stuff. And there's one of these pictures in the movie where he looks like he could have been my twin at some point in time, at the same age or whatever. I was like, my computer's lagging. Super creepy. But I can't remember the name of the movie though. But it's one of the creepiest things ever. What was a movie that came out in like the early 2000s? It was one of his real popular movies. And was it about Schmidt? And in the very opening scene of the movie, they're panning through all these they're panning through like some like chest or tabletop thing, like a dresser, like an old-timey dresser or something, where they're slowly moving the camera and they're showing like pictures of him throughout the years, like him and his wife and all that stuff. And they get to this one picture when he's like 13 or 14 years old, I think, in the movie, and he could have been my twin. And it was one of the weirdest things I had ever seen. And I'm like, now that I think about it, now that the picture from the Shining seems super creepy, because I'm like, I mean, my entire like my parents, my brother, my mom and dad, my brother, and all that stuff were like what the fuck, right? That looks just like Luke. You know, how weird was that? I mean, it looked like it could have been my twin. Like they superimposed my picture at some point in time or something. It was so weird. I never quite understood what the fuck that was about. You know, obviously, I don't know if it was a real picture of Jack Nicholson or they hired some person to play him as an actor or whatever, or an actor that kind of, because the picture of him didn't look at all like grown-up Jack Nicholson. It looked like someone totally different, but like it was so bizarre, man. I wish I could remember when it was. It wasn't Anger Management. About Schmidt or one of these movies, right? That was like real popular, like the late 90s, early 2000s. And if you can recall, the opening scene, and I even show you, and if I can find a picture of what I used to look like at that age, you're going to go, yeah, that's creepy. Yeah, it's very creepy. So the fact that I'm such a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick, and The Shining is hands down, I'm not going to sit there and argue with it, the best scary movie ever made. Oh, that's what I should watch if I get snowed in here in the next couple of days. Dude, I should watch The Shining. How weird is that? I'll try to find the clip, and I'll show you. And if I can find a picture of me when I was that age, I'll show you. You might even be able to see the resemblance regardless. You, with the glow-in-the-dark hands, grab the fucking flag. You carry. I'm squishy. He's got me on follow. But if I find the picture, man, I'll show you. It's so bizarre. And I just saw the Overlook Hotel posted by Stanley Kubrick, because I guess it's getting ready to snow and all that stuff. I'm like, now that I think about it, what is it with these fucking photographs and Jack Nicholson? You know, like the twist, the M. Night Shyamalan twist of, I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen The Shining, but if you haven't seen The Shining, then you probably should just go ahead and go do something else for the evening. Come on. Somebody heal the flag carrier? God damn it. I can always pick the enemy flag, but I can never seem to grab our flag for some reason. Maybe it's about positioning or something. But I'll find the clip I'm talking about later, and I'll post either a part or a screenshot from it, like, or if they have the thing on YouTube or something. And I'll try, like, you might even be able to see the resemblance now, but at the time it was like enough to where, like, what the fuck? We had to like stop the tape, right? Like, what the fuck is going on? It's probably DVD, VHS, whatever at the time, but. God damn it. God damn it, Jerry. Like, why? Why not? Why not just let this guy fucking kill you and get it over with? So, it wasn't about Schmidt. Maybe it was. Schmidt opening scene. It's not about Schmidt. Something's Gotta Give. Nicholson movie had an opening scene that showed photographs of a young Jack Nicholson. No, not 1970. I don't know what part of it you call the movie, like the opening scene, right? Where they're like, there's no dialogue, there's nothing, they're just, you know what I mean? 5 easy pieces, the only thing that we're getting here. It wasn't an old movie, it was relative, like at the time it was a new movie. Have to watch them one by one and try to find which movie it was. There's probably Something's Gotta Give. No, As Good as It Gets. Was it As Good as It Gets? I remember it being like, you know, something my parents would let me watch at the time. It might not even be that, man. What other movie was there? He didn't make a whole lot of movies at the time. It was like super popular, if I remember correctly. Something you'd go to Blockbuster to rent. You know what I mean? Wow, we actually recovered from that. Probably about to have an Overlook Hotel weekend, it seems, right? I got nothing but I got a few snack cakes because I'm in the mood for fucking whatever. If you're gonna be snowed in, you might as well enjoy it all week or whatever. We don't know how long it's gonna take now. Shit. Oh, great. Trying, man. As Good as It Gets, opening scene, they're like, it might not be as good as it gets in. That's where he had OCD. But they don't say it's Jack Nicholson. That's the thing. They pan over all the stuff, right? And they're like, and they don't say if it is or isn't him, but it's like you get the impression that it's like a photograph of him or something. Look at all these fucking spiders and shit chasing this guy. Guess it works both ways, right? Chasing, same thing, kind of. Freddy versus Tracing. Looks like that guy is doing a good job. Where is our flag headed now? God damn it. The fucking stuns last forever now. What the fuck is that all about? These fucking goddamn hang gliders. Are you fucking serious? Guys are acting like all one bunch of entire dickhead right now. Oh my god. Right. Oh my god. That's one thing about being arcane, is being able to arcane slow people is kind of fun, but other than that, arcane sucks. I hate it. So like the least fun thing to play. Anytime they ever tried to move towards making arcane spec for mages viable, I'd fucking just sit there and kick and scream and cry. It's like, it's so shit, man. If only you knew how shitty it was. There's one of those things like where, like if it's not broke, then don't fix it. But if it ain't meant to work, then don't try to. You know, arcane spec is certainly one of those things that are like, fire and frost work perfectly. Arcane is super shitty. But where's our flag at? I remember it was kind of a cheerful movie, so it wouldn't be like, you know, all depressing and shit. Oh, look at fucking. Good. What the fuck was he trying to accomplish doing that? Trying to drag somebody under there so he could rape him, more than likely. Two caps so far. Come on now. What? It was probably, no, are these in order? Select no. Release date. Yeah, sort by release date. It wasn't the 80s. It wasn't the early 90s. It had to be either, if these are all the movies that he's ever made, As Good as It Gets, or About Schmidt. Something's got to give. It's the only three it could have been. So let's look up About Schmidt. That's what we just looked at, right? Something's got to give. Son of a bitch. Can all my stuff attack that guy? Oh, we won. I'm not making it up, dude. It's somewhere. I mean, like, like when I remember seeing it, like, the what do they call that part? It is the opening scene, but where like they don't, like, you haven't even introduced yourself to any of the characters or whatever, and they do like a pan and there's like text and stuff on the screen and all that. I've never seen this movie, I don't think.
Dance with me.
I've watched this already. God damn it. Anyway, I'll find the fucking thing at some point in time. Yeah, it is a weird, all the things, right? It wasn't The Shining. It was something that didn't come to the conclusion until recently how weird that was. You're like, just like me. Bizarro. Bizarro. I'm helping. Turtle face. Proof that the internet doesn't know everything is I cannot find the answer here about Schmidt. It looks like the opening scene probably looks like it's not about Schmidt. It looks like it was probably as good as it gets, but I don't know what part of the opening scene. Like, I don't really want to rent it either. Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's not that important, but we should be getting snow sometime tomorrow afternoon-ish, I believe, and then we'll be playing it by ear from then. Oh, today was supposed to be the day that the guy climbed the skyscraper. Yeah, I didn't even notice that till yesterday. I saw it on Netflix. Another thing to consider is there ever going to be a crypto movie studio that actually makes like good movies and stuff? You would think is one of the things that could potentially be done eventually. You know, like an actual, not where like the whole thing's gonna be product placement for crypto and all that, but just like at some point in time, Netflix was like purely a content distribution network of some way, right? And they actually started creating their own content with like Netflix exclusives and all that. Wow, riveting. Thought I'd have something to talk about, but I guess I don't. That's what I don't get is why more layer ones, man. I think we've got the layer one thing figured out. It's like really another layer one, really guys, really more layer ones. Fight aliens, mom. Oh, I should have got pizza today though. No, the Scorpius bassist died. Those guys are all super old. 71 years old. I guess it's not super old, but when I looked at a picture of their like Wikipedia page a few years ago, I'm like, wow, those guys are really getting up there in years. Oh, I was eating a Reese's peanut butter cup in bed the other day. There's 4 in a pack, and I ate 3 of them, and I don't know where the other one went. So I'm gonna like walk around eventually with a fucking big chocolate stain on something. I'm like, how the fuck do you lose an entire Reese's peanut butter cup? Dur, 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 guy, dur. Wow. I hate when we get off to this start, right? Where like I can't come up with something to say, and I'm like, just kind of come spend the evening with me as I stare at my monitor silently. And if that sounds like fun to you, why wouldn't it? Sugar on top of sugar. I don't normally eat like that. Not at all. What's up, Beavis and Butthead? Sugar and wash it down with more sugar. It doesn't even taste good. That's all I used to eat was fucking shit like that, man. Like for years and years. wish, man. Oh no, I said we're gonna watch The Shining. No, we gotta watch Battlestar Galactica tomorrow. I said we like, hey, come on, sign the permission slip so we can all watch Battlestar Galactica together. People are weird, man. People are weird. Yeah, I'm the fucked up one, right? I think about some of the shit people have said and done throughout my life. I'm like, I'm the weird one, right? Right. I don't buy it. Wow. I didn't know that. So Coinbase finally did their chain integration. Trade millions of Solana tokens on Coinbase. Hey, that's super neat. That's super awesome. I wonder if it differs or varies from like if it's limited in some way, shape, or form, right? That's super awesome. Because like one of the hurdles is like with crypto is the learning curve, and people are more intimidated by seed key phrase generation and all that stuff, and operating like a browser extension and all that. They kind of there's a lot of old school people out there that like to just be able to password an email account and have it kind of they prefer a method of like what I mean versus the slightly more convoluted convoluted, not say convoluted, slightly more, there are more steps involved, right? I say convoluted might be right, but you know what I mean. complicated. That's the word I'm looking. You forgot the word complicated, guy. You're taking your stupid pills again. I love that joke from Arrested Development because he only infers at one point in time that the stupid pills are a real thing, with no actual rebuttal or answer, retort or whatever. And then later he references and he says again as if like it's a foregone conclusion. He says, "You taking your stupid pills again?" Oh, or what does he say? "You must be taking stupid pills. You must be." Either way, yeah, that's good though, because like people trying to get involved in cryptocurrency, the idea that yeah, well, if you are you familiar with Phantom? Okay, well, you download a browser extension, something you're not familiar with, right? And these 12 things is going to be the thing that unlocks basically your crypto wallet. You're like, people just want to be able to make an email account. A lot of them want to be able to provide an ID so that there's like a recoverable account, so on and so forth. You know, a lot of people really do appreciate the old school way of doing things. It's what people are most familiar with. So that's super awesome for Solana assets, basically all that stuff being integrated. I believe that's what it consists of, right? Unless it's not the same app or whatever, but that's super cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought they did that shit months ago, you know, or weeks ago. I remember seeing news about it and somebody saying they did, and I never really got a chance to see for sure, but I guess that's extra, read all about it. Right. Extra, read all about it. Crypto news, I'm sure so. Oh, look at that. Zeppelin paper kit. Paper Zeppelin kit. What fucking chances of that? I didn't know that was going to be in there. That's a bit weird. I didn't know there was going to be a paper in there. And then it's any sort of paper. Paper Zeppelin kit. It was a fucking treasure box. I opened it up and it was just singing about the paper. That's weird. Anyway, dumb luck, I guess. Those are the type of synchronicities, like when I say pay attention to synchronicities, like as often as I run around and pretend to be a paper boy from the 1920s, pretty much every day, you know, actually hardly ever at all. And then I accidentally clicked that box, and then what was inside it? Paper Zeppelin kit, right? That's not necessarily a newspaper, but a paper item. You know, makes a little bit of sense, kind of. I didn't even mean to click it. That's bizarre. Extra. I get back to my shtick, whatever it is. Extra. Read all about it. That's the thing, is I don't know if that means that there's still like a preferred listing, you know what I mean, for tokens that, you know what I mean, like is it limited in like not capacity, but limited in feature, you know, is it, it seems like for something that neat, there would have to be some sort of, there's got to be something, right? Makes you wonder why they haven't done that with Ethereum. Have they? Have they done it with Ethereum? That's a super cool. That's one totally super cool guy. That opens up a lot of opportunity for people that develop on Solana. If Ethereum's not like that, man, that's like not to say a nail in the coffin for something like Solana, but not having to do the listing process or like getting a free limited listing kind of anything on Solana, I guess, is tradable on Coinbase. That's a big deal. I don't know if people know that. Because the listing process is one of the things that, that being like the nail in the coffin, not in reference to Ethereum, but the listing process is like the nail in the coffin for a lot of cryptos, really, tokens, coins, whatever you want to call them. I guess layer ones still have to go through the right channels and all that stuff, but I guess any tokenized asset on Solana, that's pretty cool. If that is working, man, that's super cool. Yeah, my dad's super happy. He bought a chunk of silver like a couple of years ago. No, he's at $103 for silver, and he's proud of himself. I think he bought it at like $7 or $12. At the time, I was probably giving him a hard time about it. Like, why don't you just buy Bitcoin instead, right? I think had he just bought Bitcoin, then he'd still be doing better. But the old timers, man, they like doing things. Like I say, they like signing up for shit on their email. They like buying. They like the tried and true method, right? They like the system of accountability, and they're used to that kind of structure. Where us borderline anarchist teenagers, or whatever, in my dad's eyes, right? I'm still like a rebellious teenager in his eyes, more than likely. Um, us young whippersnappers, right? Sweat. I got this robe on, the heat blowing on my feet. That's one of the. I think that of all the people, when they're like, "Oh, well, the bull runs on, the bull runs on," I'm like, if anything, right? I think that's probably the most bullish indicator. Even before, like, what was the thing that really caused this downslide in the public's eyes? It was the tariff war. It was the this, the that, the other thing. It's like, and every one of those things that got rectified or whatever, or resolved or whatever, all right, then it went down even more. It went down even more. It's like the things to really pay attention to is onboarding users to the process. And if you just onboarded every Coinbase every Coinbase customer to the Solana chain ecosystem. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm bullish about. That's the type of thing I'm looking for sure. He's onboarded that many people to an otherwise complicated kind of daunting decentralized exchange process, right? It's like there's a lot of people that don't like to fuck with that shit, you know. Especially old folks. All the old folks. Let's see. How many customers do they have? 100 million verified users, right? Let's see. So for reference, and this is people that use Phantom. So I know there's other wallets that interface with decentralized exchanges and all that stuff, but to assume that every person that makes a Phantom wallet is using it to use DeFi and not just store their cryptocurrency, you know, there's a percentage of them that do just use the wallet to store their cryptocurrency and don't fuck with the decentralized exchange stuff. There is 15 million active users as of late 2025 of Phantom. So that being said, there is Coinbase has over 100 million users worldwide. So the amount of users with onboarded access to the Solana chain assets just increased probably tenfold, right? That's what would make me bullish about things. Because you say 15 million active users on Phantom, and not all of them are using it for. But it's to say though, yeah, probably some people don't use Coinbase for it either. But as far as for pure wallet, you know, seed key phrase generation and crypto storage, you would think Phantom is probably more likely to be a solution for that, because of the amount of things you can store on it. Where now it's Solana, not Solana, but Coinbase. You know, if you were to send a coin from the Solana chain that wasn't supported directly, you wouldn't get it. You know, you'd be lost. You know, it'd be in the wallet, but it wouldn't show up in the user interface if it weren't supported and all that stuff. So that's super cool. That's what, in all honesty, that's what I would be bullish about more than anything. Period. And the frequency at which people use Coinbase, you know what I mean? It's like some people are just set it and forget it kind of people with Coinbase too, whereas like the people that are entrenched in the trenches or whatever, that's more of like a people that use Phantom and all that shit. The type of people that would do well for themselves if they ever just stuck to one thing for more than 15 minutes, more than likely, right? Ever gonna freeze? Ever? Nope. Fucking guy. Oh, come on now. God damn it. Fucking sneaky rogue. God damn it, dude. Sneaky fucking rogue. I swear it, man. I swear. Did you see, the other day I was playing though, and I got that rogue out of stealth with the cone of cold. Like, just on accident. Like, what are the fucking chances of that? What are the chances of that? Yeah, that's like all the economic data. It's like, what good is it if you can't get? That's that alone. That thing is, I swear, that's the best news for crypto. Period. Right now, especially Solana. If they haven't given that sort of treatment to Ethereum, then there's a reason for it, right? That means that it's likely to say or to assume that they believe in the Solana ecosystem more than they believe in the Ethereum ecosystem, which is I do. I prefer over ease of use and just simplicity. And I went through some of my old wallets. Like if I even just added up all the transaction and gas fees and stuff from years ago, I probably would be crying myself to sleep right now. God damn it, dude! How many guys are there now? Fuck! I was gonna kill both of these people. Looks like. Anyway. Because if you were to try and refer somebody, just getting their toes wet in crypto, the how intimidating the process of private key and seed key phrase generation, and like when you sit there and you go, that if you lose this key, right, it's like everything's gone, right? And you're like, at least with like that's why I say some people, as more people become crypto adherent, a lot of them appreciate the structure more than they appreciate the anarchistic nature of cryptocurrency, right? Which is good for onboarding people. Yeah, a lot of people's suggestions for Leah currently consist of like migrating using Pump Fund or Pump Fun or Swap, whatever the fuck it's called. What are they called? Pump Swap or whatever. Migrate to this, that, and like I still have yet to, I'm like, every time I look the answer up, I feel like the answer, I mean, is like they can edit the smart contract, right? They retain the smart contract authority, Pump Fund does, for all version 1 tokens, right? Which means does that mean they can edit the content of the smart contract that governs all version 1 tokens, right? On that assumption, if I'm right, and I might not be right because it seems too good to be true, kind of, you're like, why, where's the traction or friction rather as to why they haven't just onboarded or migrated everything to version 2? Why this separation is just kind of a bizarre set of circumstances that I'm not necessarily familiar with, but it seems like it's one of those things. It's like, well, surely it can't be as simple as it sounds, but maybe it is, right? So I would say migrating a token is like a process, and it's something a lot of people haven't done before. You know what I mean? So it's intimidating to people, and often there's a loss of supply in the process. And there's like a lockout period of time to allow for the migration to occur successfully, and that's an intimidating process to people. People don't like their assets being locked for months on end for the migration to complete. So it's certainly a process that you want to avoid if possible. And if you do have to do it as least amount of times as humanly possible, like migrating now to have Def be able to receive creator rewards for Leah. still wouldn't have any volume anyway right now, so it doesn't matter. And it would lock out the tokens for 3 months, and there's a lot of people that wouldn't like the process, I'm sure. And then push come to shove, the day where they go, well, this smart contract that they provide, which I don't know if you can customize the contract through that or not. I haven't looked into it that much. But if they have like a preset, like, well, you all only migrate to one smart contract, it's like, I would suggest then just weather the storm if you can, and don't use your one here. You know what I mean? Where you just get one of these kind of things. Don't use your one on this, because people aren't going to want to migrate a second time after the first migration occurs. And if you're doing it just for creator rewards, the volume's not there anyway, then you're kind of like, it's just a string along process in my opinion, you know. And I think saving the migration potentially for when there is like a fully customized, specifically written for Leah smart contract that allows Def or whoever the ability to do what he needs to do with the token, then that's what I would suggest, you know. Versus the shit they've got now, which and I could have some of those bits of info incorrect on all that as far as the how that works. So, but I'm assuming that they don't allow smart contract customization if you're migrating to pump swap or whatever for their version 2. I'm assuming it's all governed under one kind of like all-encompassing smart contract for the platform, which makes you wonder, why don't they just copy and paste the source code from the second version contract into the first version if they're able to edit it? If it's more complicated than that, please forgive me, you know what I mean? But that's kind of what I'm wondering. The thing is, like, not holding out hope and being fucking optimistic where I shouldn't be, but could a day come where Pump Fund decides to migrate everything on their own? You know what I mean? Like, migrate everything from version 1 to version 2. If that is a possibility, then I can just wait. Because there's people that purchase cryptocurrencies and stuff and don't ever look at their wallets ever, and that's where you get a loss of supply. You know what I mean? People that aren't up to date with day-to-day operations, you know, or only check their wallet once every 6 months or a year, log in to find out their acquired tokens are worthless because of a migration that took place while they weren't paying attention, you know. And that's kind of a shitty thing to do. And I think with a custom smart contract, the thing is that currently the pump fund swap, it gives you like a set time frame that you're able to migrate tokens from one to another. You know what I mean? I think I really, one of the things I've yet to understand fully is how do they handle the token price point when you migrate. You know what I mean? Based on the fact that at some point in time, if one token doesn't stay locked for a period of time, then there's 2 liquidity pools with, you know what I mean? So is there some sort of AMM or whatever that manages to make sure that they both stay equal value, so you can't effectively arbitrage the same coin on 2 different things or whatever? Or if you do, it's at a minimal amount, right? Possibly. So this is kind of the thing mulling around in the old brain bucket this evening. Yeah, but that's the most bullish news, I think, probably in over a year or more now. People can say it's ETFs, it's this or that. It's like, no, it's like people actually having the ability to do the fucking thing, you know. Reducing the learning curve, you know what I mean? Any process, it's like if your job is only to find inefficiencies in like a system and like remove or reduce the amount of steps required, like you could get paid a lot for having that kind of mind about like removing the amount of like, you know what I mean? At some point in time, you know what I mean? Private key generation was probably a lot more daunting than just seed key phrase generation, and it's gotten less and less intimidating, and the learning curve has decreased as times went on. Usability and all that stuff has gotten easier over the years. But onboarding 100 million people potentially, and it's safe to assume that only a percentage of Phantom users also have a Coinbase wallet. So I mean, or a Coinbase account rather. So the idea is that there's a number of people that quite literally just got onboarded to fucking the Solana chain, whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? That's what I'm. That's the most bullish news I've seen in a very long time, really. Oh man, cyclone me, bro. Got a hunter and a druid. I could probably not kill either one of them. No, I'm frozen. That guy's frozen too. Good. All I have to do is keep him off the flag. That guy's just gonna stand in it, so whatever. Got one of them running scared. Oh, that fucking... You mean to tell me? Oh, shit, I could've... Derp. I thought we capped it. I was sitting there trying to cap... They're sitting there guarding their flag like an idiot. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that whatsoever. Anyway, shit happens. Derp. Whoa! Ooh. Shit. Don't fear me. Look at the resilience on that guy. Good God, man. Nothing gonna take him down. Oh, that got him. Get out of combat now. Come on now. these fucking portals here? Oh, great. Derp. Coordination. Let's coordinate. Come on now, gather up. Good God, dude. We have to kill the final boss still. Come on, yes, yes. Yes, we shall. Yes, we shall. Let's go. Usher us to the end, right? Right? Cheerio. Fucking 6 of us. Oh, there we are. Looks like that's much better. Did I pop my thing there? Bloodlust. Yeah, forgot I had that. It's not called Bloodlust, it's called something else, Time Warp. Because when I first started playing this expansion, these people were like, pop your Bloodlust, pop your Bloodlust. Like, I'm looking through my fucking spellbook, guy. It doesn't exist. And I found out it was called something else, Time Warp. The Punchline, it was called something else, right? The Punchline, starring... It sounds like a movie name, doesn't it? The Punchline, starring Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. the Punchline, right? That's what I have to say, though. All those movies in the 90s, not 90s, early 2000s, like when comedy kind of shifted from... And I've said this before, but when comedy shifted and like... Well, not... What's his name? Every comedy, the guy that... Not Wes Anderson, not Paul Thomas Anderson. The guy that makes like nothing but fucking 3.5-hour comedies. Yeah, my brother's gonna beat me up for not knowing that right off the top of the head. Judd Apatow, right? He talks about... My brother talks about Judd Apatow like he's friends with him. Like he says Judd like I'm supposed to know who the fuck he's talking about. Like, are you serious? Judd? He's like, yeah, I watched one of Judd's movies here. Like, do I know this character? You're saying that like you guys fucking share a sleeping bag. You know what I mean? I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. He's like, no, Judd Apatow. Don't act like you don't know. I'm like, I guess I won't be sitting at the same lunch table then, right? Fucking guy. Right, but every Judd Apatow movie is like the director's cut version of, you know what I mean? It's like there's only the director's cut. It's like think about maybe just making it an hour and a half. Remember, the Beatles only got radio play because their songs actually fit on the fucking radio. But not to shit on anybody's hard work and all the $1 billion the guys made the box office and all that. But what I'm trying to get at here is all those like, but Judd Apatow did Will Ferrell movies too, didn't he? Yeah, my argument falls apart. Judd Apatow. Okay, well, other than, but you know what I'm talking about, when like the freaks and geeks crowd from Canadian fucking television like invaded the United States with the fucking their stoner buddy and all their stoner buddies and all their stoner friends and like you get what I'm saying? Like Super Bad, Pineapple Express, all those movies were good, but they they don't hold a flame to Will Ferrell's movies for whatever reason. His movies like never get any like they don't lose their watchability. You know what I mean? They're always They're still as good today as they were then. It's a reason to shit on Judd Apatow. But like, you know what I'm talking about, those kind of movies. The Hangover's another one. Go rewatch these movies. And you're like, from that period of time, the only movies that are to say that were as good as they were the day you seen them are like Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Anchorman 1 and 2. And then there's right, Curious George, and what else was there? A movie where he's a soccer coach or whatever. Those were like kids movies though. But as far as like Anchorman 1 and 2, you guys know what I'm talking about. Will Ferrell, the guy from Mad TV. Right, Call Out Inks. No, Judd Apatow's made some really good movies, I'm sure. Like half the movies I just listed. You can Blessing of Freedom. It's a fucking stun. I don't get that. Doesn't make any sense to me why you can Blessing of Freedom out of a stun. You shouldn't be able to cast while stunned. The only thing I can cast out of is a blink. Fuck me running, dude. Anyway. Looks like we're doing pretty good though. Son of a bitch. I don't know what. Here's the thing: not necessarily knowing how exchanges work, right? As well as probably a lot of people, but how do they account for the fact that most of the shit minted on like launched on Pump Fund is just garbage? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't understand how they manage to provide. You know what I mean? I don't understand what like how do they how do they account for that much risk? You know what I mean? Or how do they offset that much risk from a bunch of meme coins that don't really mean anything? God damn it. Shit. Oh, I thought it was a hunter. Okay. Good. Counter spelled the right guy. Oh, man, oh man. .303, 305 to 360. How are we? Oh, because they keep capping the flag. So how are we losing? I love Eye of the Storm though. This is kind of a neither here nor there. Oh, I got a healer. Oh my god. Oh, look at that. Can I snap out of the fucking buttons and stuff? Yeah, we're gonna get fucking shit slammed, it looks like. Historic winter storm that will be hitting much of the United States this weekend. Trump administration is coordinating, coordinating, blah blah blah. It's all a Joe Biden Justice Department hoax. But the snowstorm? How Kamala Harris eat shit? What? What does she have to do with this? I hate getting stuck guarding things, you know. But it's like it's such a necessary. It's like it's not as fun. It does allow me the opportunity to not have to pay so much attention to things, but being on watch, guarding nodes, and all that. It's like you get to look at your phone a little bit more than normal. What does that mean? we need guard for a minute. Crowd control before fucking trying to. Son of a bitch. Alright. Okay, now we have no choice but to kill the guy. Any of you plan on... Oh, look, he's wearing blood... what was those tier 2 rogue gear? Bloodfang or whatever? Bloodfang Spalders. What a... Diablo... Or not Diablo, but... The reason I say that, there was this guy in my guild named Diavolo, and he was like the first person I ever seen that had all that gear. But, I wonder what that guy's up to. He was an underwater... He made like $1,000 an hour. He worked at like underwater salvage, you know, where you have to like put on a scuba tank and all that shit, and like weld and fix holes and stuff, you know. But yeah, no, the Bloodfang 2, Bloodfang's tier 2 shit was awesome looking. Asleep? Really? Ink empty. It's like there's 1,000 people. Yeah, well, at least I called it out. I thought people can... Come on now. Well, yeah, I could be more on ball with that. On point, rather. There we go. Now we're still losing. Yikes. And of course, right? Yeah, you know, go frolic, right? I'm like the fucking whatever. I'll stay here. Watching all my friends play football outside, and I'm stuck at home. It is only 7:47. I got a sandwich, chips and salsa. I had to eat a protein. I haven't even eaten my like eggs and stuff for the day. Had no appetite all week. Well, as of like yesterday. Guess it's technically almost all week, but Which is no bueno for a guy like me. Yeah, it's more of a defensive measure. It worked. See? That rogue stealth around just waiting for me. That guy hit him out of a sheep. I guess he's got a dot on him. Can I get a heal? Jerry? Any of these guys? No. Do I have symbiosis today? I don't have symbiosis, do I? I'm a fucking full health. The fucking full health guy. Vision's obscured. Vision's obscured. Vision's obscured. This guy knew I had like fucking a smidgen of health left. He'd attack me for sure. Alright. Alliance 1.
Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?
I kinda want something other to eat.
Well, what would you like?
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
Well, no, this here's a Frosty Cream. We don't serve biscuits. We got a lot of other stuff, though.
What you got in there is good to eat.
Well, we got Big Cheap Burgers, Bongo Burgers, Footlongs, Corny Dogs, Frosty Shakes, Creamy Bars. Did you want me to go through the whole list?
Reckon what you like to eat in there?
Well, the French fries are pretty good.
French fried potatoes?
Yep, French fries.
How much you want for 'em?
They're 60 for the medium and 75 for large.
I reckon I'll have me some of the bacon.
All right, then one large French fries.
I love that movie. I haven't watched it in forever for some reason. I was thinking of that scene. The way I really hadn't seen that movie in forever, but the town I was living before, Tennessee, like they should have filmed that movie there. You know, it looked just like it. The building in the background, everything looked just like the bank and everything. Just a town with 600 or 700 people or whatever. That was like based on the last census. There's probably less than 500 people that live there now. What's crazy though is like I sort of have a dream at some point in time to like revitalize that town, because it's just, you would think like the hard part is like, oh well, if building a new town, you're like running water, sewer, ways to, you know, utilities and all that stuff. It's got a post office, it's got a bank, it's got a Dollar General. You would love to be able to just wait for all the crackheads to die off and build something nice before they destroy it, because they will do it. They will fucking destroy it. It sucks that it's that way, but that town used to be super nice. And meth and crack and all that stuff took hold, and everything just sort of fell apart after that. They could have filmed it there, but the goal would be eventually to be able to rebuild a bunch of that kind of stuff. Because They had a 1964. It's got a Kennedy dedicated or whatever post office, right? That's where my parents actually live there currently, to be honest. Unfortunately. Good old Carl, there's a guy in town there named Dooner. He's been there since like the 60s. Um, all he does is ride his lawnmower around. The guy's still alive too. What's kind of funny though, now that I think about it, Dooner, right? He drives a bladeless lawnmower around. I'm like, that's Sling Blade's blade then, isn't it? Right? That's all Dooner's fucking, yeah. He came from Dooner's lawnmower as far as if it's my story that I'm telling, right? It looks just like the town, right? I'd give you the name, but I don't really like giving out where my parents live to people and shit. But somehow, right? Anyway, different story. But yeah, his name's Dooner. He rides an old John Deere tractor, mower, whatever brand it is, to and from whatever he's been doing. Like my dad's like, yeah, when he grew up there, or when he was younger, you know, in high school or whatever, his family moved all around. Actually, what's funny is they picked cotton. Him and his whole family. They'd travel around and like they'd go to like Texas and Arizona, wherever they could pick cotton and find work for the year. And they'd all pick cotton for the year, and then like move somewhere else, and then they'd do it again the next year. And they did that like all through his teens and childhood and all that stuff. And as you can tell, right, like they're white people, right? They had to go through some pretty rough times themselves, you know. Not being like racist or anything, I'm just saying like it's a stereotype that isn't necessarily true, you know what I mean? My dad and his whole family were like real hardworking people, and they never really made a penny off doing the shit that they did. They always just basically just enough to survive, and they almost like a nomads, you know what I mean? They'd pick up and you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that kind of dispels you know what I mean? When you're like, well, yeah, there are people, it's socioeconomic, not necessarily racial, right? It's like there are such things as poverty everywhere, you know, unfortunately. But that being one of the towns, like one of the few last few towns that he settled in with his parents when he was growing up, and they lived in the city. When he met my mom, they moved to St. Louis, which I can tell you that's a big city. They don't live there anymore, but that's where she grew up. And after like 20 years of living in the city, the suburbs of St. Louis and all that, my dad made this deal apparently with my mom when they first got married, that they would spend like 15 or 20 years in the country, or the city rather, and then when they got older, they'd mosey on down south where he's from, and they stuck with that. And unfortunately, at that point in time, though, like that town had completely fallen off the map from when my dad was a kid. But the guy Dooner, though, he was surprised as shit whenever he moved down there again in like 2013 or 14 or whatever it was, and the guy Dooner was still riding his goddamn tractor to and from the store, everything, bladeless lawnmower, right? And there's a guy named Walkin' Bill Carlton. Same story, only he didn't have a tractor. He walked everywhere. You'd see him on the main drag highway, like going to town and all that stuff. 6 miles away to the next town, right? 6 miles there to the next Walmart, right? And that's where the city was, the bigger town. And you'd see him like halfway there. Like I'd go to work and get off, and I'd see him walk at home. Like the guy's been walking the entire goddamn time, hours and hours on end. All he did was walk all day, every day, like like a Forrest Gump kind of. His nickname was Walkin' Bill Carlton, and Dooner with his highfalutin tractor. And I'm not from the country, but I lived there for a while before all this shit happened. Well, oh, scare the shit out of me. Yeah, tell people to be cautious now because you get people trying to reach out to the developer, Def, and all that stuff, and you have people pretending to be him, and it's like, fucking, you get one letter wrong, don't read it to the fine print, all that stuff, and suddenly it's a nightmare. So just make sure you're messaging people from the thing there where it says like their title next to it, like admin and community mod and all that. So you don't end up getting fished. Unless you like fish sticks, in which case don't get fished unless you like fish sticks. Ugh. It's all this penguin shit that started the last couple days. Why? Or just today is the first time I've seen of it. Man, oh man.
Scary.
Yeah, I guess if this battleground doesn't pop relatively quickly, we're gonna hop off so we're not sitting here just gasping for air in front of everybody. I feel better today overall, but you know, it's last few days of events, it's like, you know, like the fucking, you know, it's just rough. That's all. Necessary but rough. So, just keep doing what you're doing. Old Dooner and his bladeless lawnmower. What is a lawnmower without its blade, right? Type of shit is that? Is this not a crack house? Have you ever seen that video on YouTube or TikTok? It's like some person, dude. I don't know what is going on. In the video, the guy's like recording, and there's some guy that just like walks up to it, their window, and he looks in and he says, in like it's fucking a scene from Romeo and Juliet. And he's like, "Hello, is this not a crack house?" Right? Like with a British accent and everything. Like, what on earth? Yeah, is this not a crack house? Oh, Romeo, Romeo, we're out now. Is this not a crack house? Right. I wish I could find it's somewhere. Like, I have it saved somewhere. Like a year and a half ago is when I seen it. It was so I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. Is this not a crack house? What is a lawnmower without its blade? Trailer Park Romeo and Juliet. Right. Could be a musical, couldn't it? It could be. Crack House the musical. Could be. Crack House the musical. I've never seen such a stage production in my life, but I would go see that for sure. I'd buy tickets. I'd buy all the tickets. Crack House the musical. Oh, there already is Crack House the musical. No, it's a playlist. It's not a real thing. Oh man, oh man. Oh, here it is. I found it.
Bro, get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, you got some crack though?
No.
Oh, but why did I hear it with a British accent before? Is this not a crack house?
Bro,
Get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, you got some crack though?
No.
It's still funny though. Yeah, I'll post that. It's fucking super funny. For whatever reason, man, I thought the guy had he's like, is this not a crack house? He had like a British accent last time I seen it. In my mind, maybe, right? Like, no. Like, how do you fucking, is there a directory? Look it up on Google. Is there like pins where there's crack houses? He's like, how do you even get your wires crossed for that kind of thing? Just showing up to fucking people's homes, like looking in their windows and stuff. Like, type of shit that get you shot normally.
Bro.
Get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, do you got some crack though?
No.
Oh. Man, everybody got crack, bro.
Get the
It's like the type of questions. Right, everybody's got crack. No, they don't. I've never seen crack in my entire life. To act like I don't have a bunch of it, right? Come on now. Is this not a crack house? Everybody's got some crack. No, they don't. Crack is not a normal thing. Old Krusty the Clown and his crack.
Get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, do you got some crack though?
No.
It'd be different. It's like ask for a cup of sugar might be one thing, right? But to assume, and like even that's kind of like if someone tells you they don't have it, they don't have it, right? No means no, right? Fucking really? Everybody's like, come on now. Like if you watch this video, you'll see that this is wildly inappropriate, criminal thing to do to
Get
somebody.
the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, do you got some crack though?
No.
Oh.
Just in case. Just in case you. Okay, it's not a crack house, but do you have some? Right. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, but that strongly resembles the type of area that I was living in, unfortunately. People were like that, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a rough place. I'm fucking glad to get out of there as much as I could, but whatever.
Bro.
Get the fuck.
We had one, I swear, dude, I swear to God. So we had, I bought a bunch of Litecoin miners off the internet in like 2017, 2018, like into 2017, 2018, early 2018 or whatever. And my apartment, I probably posted a picture of it like way ago, right? I'll probably post a picture of it again eventually, so you can see the type of place I was living in. And I bought a bunch of Litecoin miners from Bitmain, and I tried to hook them all up. And I had to run it, but now it did look like a crack house, right? I had to run an extension cord, but I was mining Bitcoin, well, Litecoin, and I had to run extension cords to the power pole outside because my apartment, my home, was like a shed basically. It only had like maybe like less than 10 electrical sockets, right? All on one breaker, right? So I had to run the power line, run the extension cords to the power pole to mine Litecoin and Bitcoin too. And one of these times, like it still went on my electric bill, like I wasn't, using my neighbor's electricity, but I did have these neighbors that were like real deal, like crackheads and stuff. They'd live like 5 or 10 people in an apartment that's probably slightly bigger than this room, my next door. And they wouldn't pay their electric, and I went outside one day and they had an extension cord ran to the pole, and they were running their, I'm like, why is my electric bill like doubled over the last month? I unplug it once, they plug it back in, I go back outside, like an hour later, they plugged it back in, I go out there and fucking unplug it and cut the thing, tied it in a knot and threw it in their yard, and they fucking cussed me up and down, almost got into it with them. I had some rowdy, rough people living around me too. It was a nightmare. I'd have people like we had one parking lot for 3 different tiny like shed apartments, and cases of mistaken identity. People like, oh, well, one of these guys' girlfriends was like sleeping with one of the guys next door, or a person 2 homes down or whatever, 2 apartments down. Her car was parked in our driveway, our parking lot, shared parking lot, and the guy came to my door, beating on the door as loud as he could, and I got into a fist fight with him like on my porch. I beat the guy pretty bad. I beat him pretty bad. He got a couple good licks though, but the type of shit I was having to deal with. You know what I mean? Like actual like crackheads showing up and just fist fighting you on your porch. Strangers too. I never met the guy before. Could have gotten stabbed or shot or something, but thank God I didn't. You know, but it's just, God damn, you're gonna beat on my door like that. Anyway, yeah, I tolerate so much, and you know, I tolerate so much shit from people, but I'm particular about my front door usually, especially with strangers. You know, I'll say, what intent? What's your intent? Like mistake? I fucking don't care at that point in time. I wouldn't beat on my worst enemy's door like that. You know. So it was never called for really. That's one of like the few times I've actually gotten into a physical altercation with somebody. It's always in self-defense, man. I don't lash out on people in anger and shit. I'm all about just keeping to my own, and fucking. I purposely go like write people off entirely if they're confrontational or argumentative or ignorant. You know, I just don't. I like clashing. I don't like clashing with people. Some people love it, man. I'm not the type of person that likes the type of drama and conflict amongst people, and like I keep to my own kind of guy. I hate the shit. But that's the type of people, right? It's a town with people, just everybody's like that guy. You see that video, it's a nightmare. It's a depressing place. You just go outside and it's just like, ugh, it drains you. You know what I mean? And so this time of year too, when it's winter and like all the houses are dilapidated and falling apart and people with disassembled cars in their front yard and stuff, it's just like a real drain on your mental whatever, you know. Is this not a crack house? Right. How funny is that? Is this not a crack house? I'm thinking of it. I'm like, yeah, what was that Leonardo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet in Love or whatever it was, the modern day adaptation? Laugh my ass off. What do you think? Right. Bruh, get away from my
Fuck away from my house.
Bro.
Get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit. You got some crack though?
No.
Man, everybody got crack, bro.
Everybody
Get
got
the
crack, bro.
fuck away.
Everybody got crack, bruh. Did they know each other? Did they know each other? Anyway, what time are we at? 8:18. We're gonna wait till 20 minutes. If the battleground doesn't pop by then, we'll. Guess we'll start selling crack. It's the only option. Yeah, I wish things were less complicated, man. I really do, but what do you do about it all? This penguin thing is out of nowhere.
Bro.
Get the fuck away from my house.
Man, where's Scotty, bro?
Get the fuck away from my house.
Is this not a crack house?
No.
Shit, do you got some crack though?
No.
Oh. Man, everybody got crack. Everybody got crack.
Right. You try to reason with that every day. Anyway, it's